Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to this point. When garlic bread, specifically demonic garlic bread, has been written up as an SCP. Now look, I know I love weird ones. This one I'm probably gonna love too. Going into it, I'm kind of skeptical. I love garlic bread. Why would you do something why would you make garlic bread demonic, okay? I know it can have some really crazy heartburn if you eat too much. That's the most evil thing that ever happened to me. You know what? Just go subscribe to SCP Illustrated. Let's get into this presentation, shall we?
Description.
Tell us about it, please.
SCP-3464 was a large quantity of garlic bread disseminated in Toronto food service establishments from April to September of 2018.
Okay.
Foundation operatives have presently recovered 449 instances.
Good lord.
Each SCP-3464 instance was baked with ingredients typical of garlic bread, such as parsley, mozzarella cheese, and garlic shavings. Instances varied in mass from a 200-gram slice to a 2-kilogram loaf.
Alright.
The anomalous property of each SCP-3464 instance manifested when a restaurant patron received it as part of their meal.
Sure.
After being served, each instance would newly generate garlic bread and expand in size by a factor of 10.
Oh my gosh.
Each instance then vocalized for several minutes, with the voice of acclaimed voice actor Don LaFontaine about the negative impacts of food waste. An excerpt from one such vocalization is as follows. In a world where we could have our cake and eat it too, we savoured every bite. Now the stakes have risen and we eat our final meal alone. Every day we face hunger, paranoia, shortage, and the most horrifying struggle of all, sharing. With our final feast fast approaching, we look to you as the last line of defence. Take the bite or suffer the consequences.
What the heck, dude?
Establishments responsible for distributing SCP-3464 typically discovered a loss of organic waste, proportional to the amount of generated bread. Patrons consuming the bread were unaware of this. No patrons are recorded to have experienced adverse anomalous effects after consumption.
Okay.
About 15% of these patrons, however, reported feeling pressured against wasting food for the next month.
Okay, that's...
Special containment
thing?
procedures. All instances of SCP-3464 are kept in a cold storage unit at Site 201.
Alright.
As instances display no further anomalous properties and no new instances have appeared, containment is focused on the suppression of information about SCP-3464's anomalous nature.
So
Mobile Task Force Delta 13, Undead Bread Redemption, is implanted within Toronto Public Health to assess irregularities in bread production and preparation in the city of Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
Incident 3464
Yes, please. Tell us about incidents.
On the 27th of September 2018, the 450th instance of SCP-3464 was discovered in an Olive Garden restaurant in downtown Toronto.
I love Italian, but I'm not a
discovery log compiled from the restaurant's surveillance system and testimonies from patrons and Olive Garden staff is as follows.
Okay.
Begin log. 1:26 p.m.
Oh, what the heck?
2 persons designated Corella 1 and 2 wearing grey hooded cloaks enter the restaurant.
They look like cultists.
30 patrons are present in various stages of dining. 1:28. An attendant directs the pair to a table near the restaurant's centre and offers a menu. They both decline. 1:29. K1 orders a pajata seasoned with basil and shredded bay leaves.
Okay.
K2 orders flame-broiled capretto cooked in benzoin oil and seasoned with black pepper and asafoetida spice. The pair also orders sempiternal garlic bread.
Alright.
1:39. The attendant returns with 2 dishes and a loaf of garlic bread atop a platter. The 2 dishes, however, do not exist in any Olive Garden restaurant worldwide and contain herbs used in sacrificial rituals. Kitchen surveillance footage reveals the dishes alongside the bread spontaneously appeared on a counter in the wait station. The garlic bread is designated SCP-3464-450. 1:41. K2 moves the dishes to the table's center. With Tabasco sauce, K1 circumscribes the dishes with a thermatological summoning circle and places SCP-3464-450 at its edge.
They doing a ritual at the
acting
table
as a ritualistic offering to the garlic bread give off steam and disappear. The bread then expands, causing the table to collapse beneath it.
Oh my gosh.
142. SCP-3464-450 expands to fill most of the room. 143. Field Thaumaturge Delta 7, a tactical food and safety enforcement operative working with MTF Delta 13 from Site 201, breaches the restaurant and orders patrons to evacuate. K1 shouts to the patrons to consume the garlic bread.
Devour
and in fear,
the
some
sacrament
comply.
pigs.
145. SCP-3464-450 radiates a vibrant blue as patrons eat it. 146. Patrons who have consumed the garlic bread collapse. SCP-3464-450 absorbs their Elan vital energy. Unaffected patrons and Olive Garden staff rush outside. FT Delta 7 vocalizes containment incantations.
So they're basically trying to contain it
K2 unpockets and unfastens a vial of crimson liquid while uttering Latin incantations.
Oh my
a summoning
God.
ritual takes place. FT Delta 7 grabs K2 by the collar, but is thrown several meters across the restaurant and into a wall.
Oh my God, dude!
As she recovers, she identifies her assailant, the body of a collapsed patron under evident necromantic control. Other collapsed patrons animate and stumble through tables and chairs towards FT Delta 7.
Oh my God,
149.
Dude.
FT Delta 7 works to prevent civilian injury. With her hands, she generates specific kinetoglyphs and returns Eve to their rightful owners. 151. K2 summons an incorporeal Tartarian entity of unknown topology. 152. The entity manifests within SCP-3464-450. K1 and K2 consume the garlic bread. It is unknown what significance this ritual has.
Alright, so the cultist ended up eating it.
FT Delta 7 is successful in returning 15 patrons to their bodies. As K1 and K2 continue consumption, they convulse and froth at the mouth.
Oh gosh.
154. After returning the final patron, FT Delta 7 attempts an exorcism to banish the entity.
Okay.
SCP-3464-450 expands into the street, demolishing the building in the process.
Oh my God.
The instance grows arachnid appendages and releases corrosive olive oil.
What the heck, dude?
155.
It's a
spider? To aid in the exorcism, FT Delta 7 sacrifices her own Eve.
Olive oil.
2 o'clock. K1 and K2 disappear into the garlic bread mass. SCP-3464-450 explodes, resulting in flaming garlic bread to shower the square.
Oh my God.
End log, 1
so
minute
it
past
exploded. 2. Kaboom.
Closing remarks.
Thank you.
A Foundation media cover-up team implanted in Olive Garden is charged with maintaining the guise of SCP-3464 being an elaborate social experiment conducted to raise awareness of food waste.
Oh my gosh.
On the 13th of October, Foundation investigators confirmed SCP-3464 represented the work of Dutch parachef Ignace Marcus, a known demonologist specializing in demonic cuisine.
Okay.
Ignace is an Ambrose restaurant chef and a rising figure in the North American anomalous restaurant scene.
Oh my
Because
God.
of his extensive use of infernal entities, other entities and groups engaging in paranormal manipulation and sabotage have repeatedly targeted him. The hijacking of SCP-3464-450 by an unknown rogue faction is the latest in a string of attacks against Ignace's cooking.
Unknown rogue faction that did all of that stuff, but
they
actually have anomalous restaurant chains that are gaining in popularity. How do you market that? I loved it, dude. I loved it. It is weird and wacky, just like SCP should be. Garlic bread, go figure. Yo, and go subscribe to SCP Illustrated. The drawings were beautiful, the reading was great as always, and check these videos out that I reacted to as well. Thanks so much for watching as always. This is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.